Good evening, dear observer. My name is Mr. James Candlelight, and I'm honored to share this evening with you. Tonight, we visit the studio of Evelyn Cross, an 88-year-old painter who has been creating art for over 60 years. Her paintings hang in galleries across the world. Critics have called her work luminous, transcendent, a perfect marriage of color and emotion. But 8 years ago, Evelyn began losing her sight to macular degeneration. Slowly, gradually, the world of color and form that had defined her life faded into shadow, then into darkness. Most would assume this ended her career as a painter. How can you paint what you cannot see? But Evelyn discovered something remarkable. She had never been painting with her eyes alone. She had been painting with her hands, her heart, her memory of light, her understanding of texture, her lifetime of seeing. And so she continues to paint in darkness, by touch, by feel, by the deeper sight that has nothing to do with eyes. This is a story about loss and adaptation, about discovering that we have more ways of perceiving than we realize, about learning that true vision comes not from the eyes but from the soul. Before we enter Evelyn's studio, let us prepare with deep relaxation so we can understand what she has learned about seeing without sight. Settle in now. Get comfortable. Close your eyes. Let's begin. Imagine yourself standing before a painting. You're looking at it, taking in the colors, the shapes, the composition. Now, close your eyes. The painting is still there, but now you must sense it differently. I'm going to count down from 10 to 1, and with each number, you will move deeper into different ways of sensing, deeper into relaxation, deeper into understanding that sight is only one way of knowing. 10. Feel the ground beneath you. Solid, supportive. You don't need to see it to know it's there. You feel it. You trust it. Let yourself be held by what you cannot see. 9. Notice your body without looking at it. Where is your hand? You know, even with your eyes closed. Where is tension? You can feel it without seeing it. Your body knows itself without vision. Let that knowing guide you now. 8. You are completely safe. Darkness is not empty. Darkness is full of sound, full of sensation, full of presence. My voice guides you, but so does your inner sense. Trust it. 7. Thoughts move through like shapes in darkness. You can sense them without seeing them clearly. You don't need perfect clarity. You don't need to see everything. Just feel, just sense, just know in the deeper way. 6. This moment is yours. This rest is necessary. You've been trying so hard to see everything clearly, to have perfect vision of your life, your future, your purpose. But tonight, you can rest in not seeing, in trusting what you sense rather than what you see. 5. Peace is something you feel, not something you see. It has no color, no shape, no visible form, but you can sense it, can't you? Right now, in the darkness behind your closed eyes. 4. Breathe in gratitude for all the ways of knowing, for sight, yes, but also for touch, for sound, for intuition, for the inner vision that needs no eyes, for the wisdom that comes in darkness. 3. Imagine a studio, large windows, but the curtains are drawn. In the darkness, someone is painting, creating beauty they cannot see. This is where we're going. This is where new vision waits. 2. Your body is so heavy now, so relaxed, like paint that's been mixed to perfect consistency, flowing, easy, no resistance. Let yourself flow into rest now. 1. Open the door to the studio. Light spills in for a moment, then dims. As the story unfolds, you will meet Evelyn and learn what she sees now. You are welcome. You are safe. You are learning new ways to see. And now, we enter the studio where darkness became a teacher. Evelyn Cross's studio is on the top floor of an old building in the Arts District. Large windows face north, providing the even, indirect light that painters prefer. Though Evelyn can no longer see that light, she keeps the curtains open out of habit, out of memory, out of hope. The studio is organized with careful precision. Every paint tube, every brush, every tool has its exact place. This is necessity now, not preference. Canvases lean against walls, some finished, some in progress. The paintings are abstract, bold with color. Thick impasto textures catch the light. You can see the movement of the brush, the dance of the artist's hand. At an easel in the center of the room stands Evelyn. She's 88 years old, small and wiry, with silver hair pulled back. She wears paint-splattered clothes and moves with the careful confidence of someone who has learned to navigate without sight. Her eyes are open but unfocused, clouded with the milkiness of advanced macular degeneration. She's painting. One hand rests on the canvas, fingers spread, feeling the surface. The other holds a loaded brush. She paints slowly, deliberately, running her fingers over what she's just painted, using touch to guide the next stroke. A young woman sits in the corner watching. This is Maya, Evelyn's assistant and former student. You enter quietly, not wanting to disturb the work. Maya gestures for you to sit. For several minutes, you simply watch. Evelyn paints with complete focus. Her movements are unhurried. Brush to palette, palette to canvas, fingers checking, brush returning. There's something meditative about it, something deeply intentional. Finally, Evelyn sets down her brush and turns toward where you're sitting. Someone's here, She says, "Not a question. I hope it's okay." You say, "Maya said I could observe." Evelyn smiles. "Of course." Though, observe is an interesting choice of words when watching a blind woman paint. She moves to a sink to wash her hands, navigating the space with absolute certainty. "Would you like tea?" I can't see it, but I can still make it. Muscle memory, as they say. Maya makes the tea, and you all sit in the comfortable chairs by the window. Maya tells me, "You've been painting blind for 8 years, you say." "Legally blind, yes," Evelyn corrects gently. "I can perceive light and dark, shadows, movement, but details, colors, faces, gone." She sips her tea carefully. "I was diagnosed at 80, macular degeneration, progressive, irreversible. The doctor said I had maybe 2 years before I'd lose too much vision to continue painting." "What did you do?" "I panicked," Evelyn says, frankly. "For months, I was paralyzed with fear. I'd been a painter for over 60 years. It was who I was. Without sight, I thought, I was nothing. I stopped painting, just stopped. Couldn't bear the thought of continuing while I could still see, knowing it would end soon. Couldn't bear the thought of never painting again. So I did nothing. And the nothing nearly killed me." She turns her clouded eyes toward the window, toward light she can barely perceive. "Maya saved me. She was my student at the time. She came to visit and found me sitting in the dark, surrounded by my old paintings, mourning." Maya picks up the story. "I asked her, 'Why did you become a painter?' And she said, 'To capture beauty, to create feeling, to express what words couldn't.' So I said, 'Can you only do that with perfect eyesight?'" Evelyn smiles at the memory. Such a simple question, but it shook me, because no, of course not. Vision was my tool, but it wasn't my purpose. My purpose was to create, to express, to connect. So Maya said, "Then paint." Just like that. Close your eyes and paint. "I thought she was crazy," Evelyn continues. "Paint blind? Impossible." But Maya insisted. She set up a canvas, gave me paints, and told me to close my eyes and just feel. "What happened?" you ask. Nothing at first. I froze, couldn't do it, couldn't surrender my need to see what I was creating. But Maya kept pushing. She said, "You've been painting for 60 years. You think your hands don't know what to do? You think your body doesn't remember?" So finally, I tried, eyes closed, brush in hand, and I made a mess. She laughs. A complete mess. Colors muddy, composition chaotic, objectively terrible. But her voice softens. It felt wonderful. The brush in my hand, the texture of paint, the movement of creation. I'd forgotten how physical painting is, how it's not just about seeing, but about feeling. So I kept going. Day after day, eyes closed, just feeling, just creating. And gradually, something shifted. I stopped trying to paint what I thought I should paint and started painting what I felt, what I sensed, what lived in my hands and heart rather than my eyes. She gestures to the canvases around the room. these are what emerged. Not paintings of what I see, but paintings of what I feel. Not representations, but manifestations. Not vision, but something else, something deeper. You move to examine the paintings more closely. They're extraordinary. Bold strokes of color, thick textures you can almost feel from across the room. There's a rawness to them, an emotional immediacy that her earlier work, beautiful as it was, didn't quite capture. These are incredible, you say, honestly. Thank you, though I have no idea what they look like, Evelyn says with a smile. Maya describes them to me, but I paint them by feel, by the texture under my fingers, by the weight of the paint, by the resistance of the canvas. I've developed new ways of organizing my palette. Each color has a specific position. I've learned to identify paints by thickness, by temperature. Yes, colors have temperature, I've learned. Reds feel warmer, blues cooler. I mix colors by feel now. I may not see what I'm creating, but I can feel the relationships, the harmony, the tension. In some ways, I see more clearly now than I ever did with perfect vision. This seems impossible, but looking at the paintings, you can sense the truth of it. How can you see more clearly without sight, you ask? Evelyn stands and moves to one of her paintings. She runs her hands over it, reading it like Braille. Because I'm not distracted by surface appearances anymore. I'm not worried about realistic representation or technical perfection. I'm painting from a deeper place. Touch teaches me things sight never did. When I run my fingers over the canvas, I feel the energy of each brush stroke. I can sense where the paint is thick or thin, where it flows or resists. I've learned that a painting isn't just something to look at. It's something to experience, to feel, to know in multiple ways. Can I try? You ask suddenly. Painting with my eyes closed. Evelyn's face lights up. Oh, please do. Maya set up a canvas. Maya quickly arranges a small canvas, paints and brushes. Now, Evelyn instructs, moving to stand beside you. Close your eyes. Really close them. No peeking. You close your eyes. Good. Now, pick up a brush. Feel its weight, its balance, the bristles. You do. Even with your eyes closed, you're aware of the brush in a new way, its texture, its potential. Now, dip it in paint. Any color. Don't look, just choose. You reach out, find a blob of paint, load the brush. Now, touch the canvas. Feel where you are. And then, just move. Don't think, don't plan. Just let your hand move. You do. At first, it's terrifying. You have no idea what you're creating, no control, no vision. But gradually, something shifts. The fear releases. You stop trying to see and start just feeling. The brush moves. The canvas receives. Something is being created. Don't judge it, Evelyn says softly. Don't evaluate. Just experience it. How does it feel to create without seeing? What does your hand want to do? You paint for several minutes. It's completely different from painting with your eyes open, more intuitive, more immediate, less in your head, more in your body. Finally, Evelyn says, "Okay, you can open your eyes." You do. On the canvas is, actually, it's not bad. It's crude, certainly, but there's an energy to it, an honesty. "See," Evelyn says, "you painted blind. You created. You didn't need to see." Later, as Maya cleans brushes and you sit with Evelyn by the window, she shares more. "Losing my sight was the worst thing that ever happened to me," she says, "and also, strangely, one of the best." How can both be true, you ask? Because loss forces us to discover resources we didn't know we had. Sight was a crutch I relied on. When it was taken away, I had to find other ways to navigate, other ways to create, other ways to see. I learned that I have seeing hands, a seeing heart, a seeing intuition. I learned that vision is only one way of knowing the world, and maybe not even the most important way. She turns her clouded eyes toward you. "What do you see when you look at me?" An 88-year-old woman, you say, white hair, paint-stained clothes, someone who's lost her sight. "And what do you feel?" she asks. You pause, considering. Strength, peace, purpose, creativity that can't be stopped. "Exactly," Evelyn says. "Sight would tell you, I'm old and blind, but feeling, deeper perception, tells you I'm alive and creating and whole. That's what I paint now. Not what I see, but what I feel. Not the surface, but the essence. And honestly, I think my work is better now, more honest, more alive, less concerned with appearances, more concerned with truth." "Do you miss seeing?" you ask. "Every day," Evelyn admits. "I miss colors, the actual experience of them. I miss faces, I miss sunsets and flowers, and the exact shade of Maya's eyes. But I don't mourn anymore. I've learned that loss and gain can coexist. I've lost my sight and gained a different kind of vision. I've lost the ability to see the world as it appears and gained the ability to see it as it feels, as it truly is beneath appearances." Maya adds quietly, her new work sells better than her old work. Galleries are fascinated by the blind painter, but more than that, people respond to these paintings differently. They say they can feel them, that they're more emotional, more alive. "Because they are," Evelyn says. "When you can't rely on sight, you have to paint from a deeper place, from the gut, from the soul. These paintings aren't what I see. They're who I am." She stands and moves back to her easel. "The painting I'm working on now, I have no idea what it looks like, but I know what it feels like. I know its textures, its weights, its energies. When I'm done, Maya will describe it to me. She'll tell me the colors, the composition. Sometimes I'm surprised by what I've created, but usually somehow it matches what I felt I was creating. My hands knew what to do, even without my eyes to guide them. As the afternoon light begins to fade, not that Evelyn can see this, but you and Maya can, you prepare to leave. Evelyn walks you to the door, navigating her studio with the confidence of deep familiarity. "Thank you for visiting," she says, "for watching a blind woman paint. Thank you for showing me that vision isn't about eyes," you reply. Evelyn smiles. "We all have access to deeper ways of seeing. Most people never discover them because they rely so heavily on their physical sight. But you don't need to lose your eyes to find your inner vision. You just need to close them sometimes, to trust your other senses, to believe that you can perceive truth without seeing it directly." She places a hand on your arm. Close your eyes more often. Feel more. Sense more. Trust that you know things you can't see. Your soul has vision. Your heart has sight. Your intuition sees clearly. You don't need eyes for any of that. As you leave the building and step onto the street, the evening light seems different somehow, more textured, more alive, as if you're seeing it with more than just your eyes. You think about Evelyn painting in darkness, creating beauty she cannot see, trusting her hands, her heart, her deeper knowing, and you wonder, what could you create if you stopped relying only on what you can see? What could you know if you trusted your other ways of knowing? What vision might you discover if you closed your eyes and learned to see differently? Tonight, as you drift towards sleep, imagine yourself in Evelyn's studio. Close your eyes, really close them, and in that darkness, sense the world around you. You don't need to see it to know it's there. You can feel it, hear it, sense it, know it in deeper ways. Your eyes show you surfaces, but your heart shows you essence. Your vision shows you appearances, but your intuition shows you truth. There are so many ways to see, so many ways to know, so many ways to perceive the world, and most of them have nothing to do with eyes. Let yourself rest in that knowing now. Let your eyes rest. Let your visual cortex rest. And instead, feel, sense, know in the deeper way. You have inner vision. You have heart sight. You have soul perception. These cannot be taken from you, cannot be lost, cannot fade with age or illness. They're always there, always available, always showing you what really matters. Trust them, use them, see with them. Not instead of your eyes, but in addition to them, in the deeper, truer way. Evelyn lost her sight and found her vision. What might you find if you stopped relying only on what you can see? Sleep now, dear friend, in the darkness behind your closed eyes, and know that darkness is not empty. It's full of other ways of seeing, full of deeper truth, full of inner light. You see more than you know more than you see. Trust that, rest in that, be guided by that. Good night.